What's up, people? Welcome back to another episode of Sports and Superheroes, the podcast where we talk about sports and superhero entertainment news from the past week. I'm one of your hosts, Sammy. Uh, I talk about the superhero side. Your other host here, Marcus. He does the sports. Say what's up to the people, Marcus.
What's up, y'all? Here for another week in this warm weather, and I'm loving it. Hope
It's too
everybody
hot.
had a no such thing.
I mean,
Hope
yesterday was
everybody,
all right. Yesterday was a little better.
yeah, hope everybody had a good fourth. How was your fourth?
It was okay. We end up tried to go see the fireworks at the last minute, saw a couple, and came home. Um, we just kind of was chilling, and the day got away from us. So by the time it got dark and it was fireworks time, my daughter was like, "Oh, are we gonna go see the fireworks?" I was like, "We can go try." I think they already popped them all. We'll see what we can see. Um, and then I fell into a rabbit hole of pets dealing with fireworks and owners dealing with them on TikTok. They be giving them like drugs, like
Mhm.
drugs that give them what's it Sudafed? Not Sudafed. What's it called when you try to give somebody drugs that helps them fall asleep? Not a sleeping pill. Um, Damn it.
Oh, I got the word, but it's
I got it
ridiculous.
too, but I can't
False
get it fully. Yeah, I hate that shit. Damn, mean to cuss so early.
sedation.
Yeah, yeah. So I would see that, and they would give them like headphones, dogs headphones and stuff. And like I never thought about that because I have a dog, but I guess usually we're gone when the fireworks is gone. So I don't know if he's like freaking out downstairs. So today, this last one, I kind of watched him a little bit, and he seemed to be fine. So he might not be scared by fireworks. I know some dogs aren't. So some dogs actually sit there and watch. I watch a whole bunch of dogs just sit there and actually watch the fireworks. So that was interesting. Um, but other than that, decent weekend. Yeah. How about yours? Did you do anything?
Pretty chill. Pretty
Okay.
chill. Yeah.
That's what you want. You want a chill weekend. Nothing too crazy happen.
Nah.
That's what it's all about. Sound like you was too chill. Well, if you haven't already, go ahead and check out that social media. All of our social media is down below. You can hit YouTube, hit that subscribe button because this is what you're watching. So hit the like, and of course the hype button because YouTube wants you to push the hype button. You also check us out on X, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, all the other social media platforms down below in the links down below. You also can leave us a voice message. We have a voice message system. You leave like a minute long voice message, and we'll probably play it on the podcast. And as long as you're not asking no weird or crazy stuff, we'll probably try to answer that question, whether it's sports, superheroes, or in between. But with that being said, and our weekend out the way, let's get into the podcast, people. Marcus, go ahead and hit him with that first story.
I don't know if we want to open up the lies this week. They it was wilding in the
They,
comments this past
they so
week.
quick. That's I'm gonna talk about that a little bit in my first story. But one thing I do want to say real quick is people stop inferring what the movie is supposed to be doing and pay attention what the movie is telling you. Like the movie's telling you stuff. If they don't show you something, that didn't happen. If they don't show you somebody getting killed, that person's not dead. That's how movies work. We've been doing this too long to not know how movies work. But I understand.
Yeah, there's under your video, your topic. There's under my topic. It
They
was
was getting in there. I
it
gotta
was
start
fun.
paying attention. I
It was
gotta send
fun.
you the information for like the Facebook too, because I be checking there to see if people leave comments. I don't check it
No,
as often. I thought I had
I
a
don't.
notification, but I guess I don't.
No, I don't. I don't even have Facebook. I don't do Facebook.
Yes, but if there's a comment that you need to
I don't.
respond to, You
I
gotta
don't
be
do
able to
Facebook.
respond to it.
Well, I just did respond. So I'm not downloading the app to my phone. I don't do Facebook.
I
There were enough
guess.
there were enough people in everyday life in the other apps and TikTok. I'm not having TikTok and Facebook. It's one or the other. I'm not doing both. All right.
Marcus, this is what we chose to do. We gotta talk to the people.
Yeah. We having a real conversation. I'm not doing both. Okay. I did want TikTok. You made me download TikTok. All right. You now give me to download both. All right.
Okay, fine.
Okay. All right. Now let's talk about one of my favorite people. Talk about Kendrick Lamar.
Oh, really? Okay. I didn't think
So,
that's where this was going.
yeah. We gonna talk about K Dot. K Dot. Uh, the NBA, no, excuse me, the NBA PA launched Players United, a new consumer-faced brand in collaboration with Kendrick Lamar's agency Project 3. The brand will commercialize NBA players' collective name, image, and likeness rights, creating products and partnerships and global business opportunities. Um, Kyrie Irving narrates its launch film on the game featuring 22 NBA stars. Well, they put out a. Actually, I never did watch that video. They put out a video, and then there's a bunch of NBA stars in the video, and Kyrie Irving is narrating the video. Players United aims to give players ownership in the ecosystem and will operate the Players United Performance Center. Players United will work with brands and industry leaders to create opportunities, new fan experiences, global license opportunities, merchandise, content, investments, and more. As part of the lunch, uh, part as of the latch. I'm still not saying a word right. Launch. Part of the
Lunch.
launch. You don't know what the hell I'm trying to say. The short, the short film is called "On the Game," and it's produced by Kendrick Lamar's agency.
Okay.
Um, let's see. Hold on. Let me go down front of my notes. Like I said in the video, there's some of the players were Jalen Brown, Jalen Brunson, Steph Curry, Kawhi Leonard, Jamal Murray, and Carl Anthony Towns. And then there will be a Players United Performance Center in Los Angeles opening in this summer as a 24/7 off-season home for NBA players where they can train on their own schedules. So it sounds like this is a really good thing for the players in itself to do their own thing to help with their own brands and get out to the fans and a new experience for the fans, a different way for them to connect with some of their favorite players.
Yeah, that's smart.
So
That's smart
shout out,
and something they are in more of control of, and not the
yes,
NBA in control of.
right, because like in these days of social media and podcasting, you have a lot of athletes who have their own podcasts
Hmm.
and can talk about stuff that's going on. Like Draymond Green, he does his podcast during the season, and he'll talk about the game they just had or what's going on. Um, I mean, a lot of fans have issues with it. Some players can get away with it. Like Paul George, he's one of the players that can't get away with it. Because anytime he's not playing or he has a bad game, he's get called podcast P. Uh, Jalen Brown, we talked about this a few weeks ago. After the Boston got exit from the playoffs, he did his own podcast and said some things. And who else? Um, those I'm sure there's other players, but those are three I can think of off the top of my head that are still actively playing basketball as a podcast. And then I know, hey, what's the dude name that got traded from Dallas Cowboys to the Green Bay Packers? Michael
Dallas.
Parsons.
Oh yeah, yeah. He does have. He had a podcast with the quarterback dude too.
Uh, Dak Prescott or
No,
Jordan Love.
no, the other dude with he had braids and he cut them. He's on Texas quarterback. Shroud.
Oh, C.J. Stroud.
Yeah, she is Shroud.
Yeah,
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 he
yeah.
they do a podcast together.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, there's plenty of active players that do podcasts. So with the NBA, with this new launch, this is you know give the players itself more power.
Okay,
Shout
interesting.
out to them.
Very smart. Yeah. Yeah. They more and more players are realizing they're a brand. So you have to not only keep yourself visible in the conversation, especially when basketball season's not happening, but you also got to diversify your brand. So that's smart. It's very smart. Okay, okay. Well, speaking of people yelling us in the comments, yes, the DC machine is in full apology mode, but also blame mode right now because, as you know, Supergirl is considered a flop right now. They're considering putting it in on digital a lot faster than they normally would. But as of right now, I think it's on pace to lose 100 to 120 million dollars lost revenue for this movie, which sucks because there's a good movie in there and she's good as Supergirl. I can't say that enough. But they just didn't take time and mold that story. Not only is the director, what is his name? Who directed Supergirl? I just had it a second ago. The director Craig Gillespie, he directed it. He's come out and said that the needle drop was James Gunn's idea. That James Gunn had most of the input on the music of the movie, but also that he had his own like cut of the movie that was competing with the studio. But either one of those cuts only got like a 70 to 60% after they did test audience. It never scored higher than that. So for some reason, and that was even after they had did reshoots, and it still didn't score higher than 70. But I guess the studio was like, we put enough money in, and they were just gonna go like, hey, we're gonna see what happens with it. We're not gonna put no more money into it. We're gonna put it out and see what happens. So it begs to differ. If you guys knew this movie was clearly not where you wanted it to be, why not just put the money into it? This is the start of your universe. This is the restart of your universe. Take the time, get it right. That makes perfect sense. We also had the script writer of Supergirl come out, and she said some really just I wouldn't have said it myself. What was her name? Anna, I'm gonna butcher her last name. Anna Negurio. Hmm. I probably should have looked that up, but I didn't. She's also supposed to be writing Wonder Woman's movie and the Teen Titan movie. Hopefully they get her some help. But she came out in an interview and said she totally misconstrued what the ending of the comic book that this movie was based off of. What the ending was. She thought they killed Krim in the comic book. She didn't realize that they banished him to the Phantom Zone and then brought him back out, and that he had felt remorse for what he's done and was trying to get forgiveness and try to be a different person, and that Ruthie does not kill him, but she doesn't forgive him for what he did, but she doesn't kill him, and nobody kills him. She 100% said this in an interview. Why would you say this, lady? Hold that and go to your grave with that. Don't tell people oh, you know the source material for this movie that I wrote? I didn't understand it. Why would you say this? This is just no makes no sense. So as of
Hmm.
right now, a lot of different people within DC are kind of playing the blame game and not blaming themselves. But in the end, it's going to come down to James Gunn. You are the architect of this. You are the whole thing that's supposed to be keeping it together. You're supposed to be the one on top of make sure it's comics accurate and it's what fans want. That's what you took that job for. So it's gonna end up coming on you. Hopefully they can reroute this ship. They have a very low budget movie coming first. It's Clayface. We'll see how that does. And then they still have the Batman 2 and Man of Tomorrow Superman sequel. We'll see what happens. In other news,
Wait, hold on. Before you move
oh,
on, I just have something to say.
okay.
So going back to the writer, okay, she didn't understand the comic, right?
Yeah.
But there's scripts to a movie, and you read the script before you make the movie, before scenes are shot. Somebody should have stepped in like, hey, that's not what happened. If we're basing it off of this comic book,
Yeah.
where was the person? I mean, it's more than one person. Because I
Yeah.
imagine if you're on the set of this movie, or you're a writer or director, or maybe not necessarily an actor, but a writer or director, you should know what's going on and how
Yeah.
the comic is. And someone should have corrected that before scenes were shot, or
Yeah.
even in the script was read and fixed it then, and not when scenes are shot. That
Yeah.
seems like a miscue on a lot of people.
A lot of people. I mean, in the short run, I think it was a chess move for her to go, hey, I didn't understand this, but I was just the writer. There's
No,
other
that's
people that
crazy.
touched this and they didn't say nothing against it. So I'm just saying.
Because
I'm
even
just
even
saying.
as even as a writer, you gotta do research and like
True.
know this.
True.
This is. I just want to shift it to sports a little bit. This is like when kids come into a sport, no matter what it is, basketball, football, baseball, soccer, whatever it is, and they don't know the history of the game.
Yeah.
Like
Oh, I just saw a TikTok where this lady was
you,
talking about y'all was
you
talking
should
about Magic Johnson was the GOAT, and I'm watching his highlights. He ain't doing nothing. It was like, ma'am, when he was doing that, nobody was doing that. He created that. You
right,
have to understand it.
right, in that era, right. So because it's just like with anything with history, you got to know the past
Mm-hmm.
before you know the present or the future. You need
Yeah.
to know what happened back then before you
Yeah.
move on.
Yeah.
So I think that's crazy that she, like you said, that she even said that in the interview. It's
Yeah.
very wild.
And people are like, if you read that comic, it wasn't left to your own interpretation. It's very clear what happened at the end of that comic. For you to say you thought it went a different way means that you just glanced at that comic. That means you didn't read it. You glanced through it and got the gist of it and was like, all right, let me go write some stuff. Uh so but also we have we've had this whole uproar of Avatar: The Last live action season 2 on Netflix. People have just been dragging it through the mud, and some of the complaints they're relevant. It changes a lot about the characters and the show itself, and where it goes and what things work. So what? But on the heels of that, Paramount said, hey guys, I know you hate this right now, but let you know we still have this Avatar movie we're gonna put out, and we got a trailer for it, and the trailer looks good. The trailer looked all right. I'm wondering if they got the same voice cast to come back and replay the characters that they originally played, but try to make them a little more adult. But the action scenes look good. The animation looks great. I'm in, and we now know that it's coming out this month on the 25th. So we get to watch this in like 2 weeks, I think that is. Yeah, almost 2 weeks we get to watch. 2 to 3 weeks we'll get to watch Avatar, Aang, The Last Airbender animated movie as him as an adult after he's won the war and now he's grown up a little bit and he's brought peace to the nation. We'll see the next threat that he's gonna have to deal with. And it looks good. It feels a little bit it's benders against non-benders, which they kind of did in Korra, but hopefully there's something more to that. So we'll have to see. But yeah, I'm very excited to see that on the 25th. It's gonna stream on Paramount Plus. As you know, we talked about before, it was supposed to go to the theaters, but they decided not to put it in theaters and just stream it on Paramount Plus, which I think was a big issue for them. I think they shouldn't have did that. But then they got hacked and somebody released the whole movie on X. So I think this is speed up their release schedule for this movie because I don't think it was supposed to come out until October, honestly. So they sped it up real quick. It was like everybody done seen part of it, but right now everybody's talking about Avatar. So right now you got a lot of advertisement. You might as well use it to your advantage and see if this boosts the eyes on this project that you seem like you guys did a lot of work with because the animation looks crisp. It looks really good. The character models look good. The sound, visual, it looks good. For y'all to not kept that in theaters, it might have been a blunder on y'all end because I think it could have made a decent amount of money. You already put the money into it. Might as well see if you can see what you can get out of it. And Avatar fans want to see adult Aang, and I think they would pay for a ticket to go see him. But that's my opinion. Let us know in the comments down below. As an Avatar fan, as a Last Airbender fan, would you have gone to buy a ticket to go see this new Avatar animated movie? Or are you happy that it's on a streaming service? Let us know in the comments down below.
All right, so got another story. I had this in the drafts for a minute, and it's a perfect time to bring it out now. So we're going to talk about Shaq, which, by the way, side note, I just watched the new scary movie. It's a
Yeah,
scary
he's
movie.
in that. I heard he's in that. Him and Kevin Hart, right?
No,
Is
Anthony Anderson.
Anthony Anderson. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So shout out to Shaq. So Shaq is starting a new league. It's called the Dunkman League.
Okay.
It's the world's first professional dunking competition, founded and commissioned by Shaq. It's created in partnership with Authentic Brands Group, and TNT Sports. The league features 24 skilled dunkers competing live across 4 events. Finalists will compete for a world championship title and a grand prize of $500,000. Um, it is scheduled to begin July 21st, 2026.
Hmm.
Shaq said the NBA's dunking contest over the last 10 or 15 years has been terrible. I agree with him. We want the best dunkers around the world, and we know there are a lot of great dunkers out there. I've said for a few years that they should get professional dunkers in the NBA dunk contest because
Yeah.
I've seen way better dunks on the internet than I have seen in the NBA dunk contest. Because like in the NBA dunk contest, it's like a lot of stuff has been done already. You need some
Mm-hmm.
creativities. You need something else.
Mm-hmm.
That's just to get fans and people excited. Um, so, like I said, the league features 24 uh, uh, dunkers, and the league will use an Olympic style scoring system evaluated by a panel of expert judges. So, I'm not really sure what the Olympic style scoring means.
I think they mean like the way the Olympic scores points and they'll get like a rule book of how to deduct stuff and stuff like that. I
Yeah,
assume.
you
Um
because I'm sure there's going to be deductions like if you miss the first attempt.
Mm-hmm.
If it was, if he barely did it or whatnot. I mean, I'm interested. I'll try to get to watch it. Um, Shaq designed the league because, like I said, he felt like dunk contest has been trash.
Mm-hmm.
Because modern top tier dunkers can. He said, "Oh wait, where did he go? Blah blah blah." Uh, oh, because modern top tier dunkers often specialize in acrobatics rather than traditional NBA level style basketball. That's why. That's another reason why he created.
Yeah.
Um, you can watch live events and highlights across several Warner Brothers and Disney and Discovery platforms on TNT, TBS, True TV, HBO Max, Bleacher Report, House of Highlights, and YouTube, with
Okay.
additional content streamed across Dunkman's social channels. So I'm excited for this. I mean, he's done something like this in the past,
Has he?
where
Okay.
yeah, or maybe it was last year where they had a show with like professional dunkers and it was a competition. So
That
it,
could have
I,
been his little tests right there.
yeah, I think it got good reviews. 'Cause like I said, like and what I'm saying in the story, acrobatics, more creativity.
Yeah.
So like you'll see stuff you haven't seen before. I
True.
know since one guy, and I'm just remembering this off the top of my head right now. Jordan, his last name starts with a K. I can't remember it right now. He's a white guy from Canada, and I've seen him do some really wild, crazy dunks. And just even just going on social media, you'll come across somebody doing wild dunks.
Mm-hmm.
And I keep seeing this one guy on TikTok. He he's been doing some Jordan dunks like back from the '80s,
Oh,
and
really?
when he does those dunks, he looks just like MJ, like tall, like guy's tall and skinny, and like how he floats in the air and all the movements. Like you can tell he like really studied Michael Jordan's movements of his dunks and layups because he looks just like Jordan doing it. And I probably came across that video like 2 or 3 times and I seen it, but every time I come across it, I still watch it like it's my first time ever seeing it because it's just so amazing to watch.
Mm-hmm.
So shout out to Shaq. And the Dunk Man is his logo anyway. So
Is it? I was
that's
wondering
yeah,
that because I
yeah.
didn't I don't like the name
Well,
100%, but
Shaq is a businessman. That's his logo. That's the name
is
of
it
his
okay?
logo. So it's
Okay.
like that way you don't have to go through the process or anything else because he already owns it. So
Okay.
and and there's a league about dunking, so it like kind of all fits in together.
Okay. Okay. I can respect that. I can respect that. And that would be interesting to watch to see who he gets. I really want to see dunkers from other countries. That would be interesting to see. Um, and like if they do some behind the scenes of finding those people in those other countries dunking and how they have their stuff set up and stuff like that. I think that would be very interesting and bring a new angle to basketball, letting people know that yes, this is worldwide and we know it's worldwide with like Kobe and LeBron on that level, but I want to see it on the street level of yeah, this is what we do, this is the kind of stuff we idolize. Like yeah, we know there's top guys, but what about that one kid in Belize that follows this certain player because the way he dunks or the way like um who was a real big dunker? um
Fits.
yeah, how
Which
you
one
would
of that
follow
Diamond
that
Olympics?
guy. It'd be interesting. That I think that would be even more interesting. Hopefully, like Netflix or some good documentary filmmakers have been in touch with Shaq and is trying to do some behind the scenes stuff to it, so we can have that come out when this does come out.
I,
Unless they
I
have it and they can pay me for that idea, go ahead.
I hope it's more like a. I don't know if you watched this when you were in high school, younger. I hope it's more like a the and one mixtapes.
Yeah, I
It's
watched it.
they
Yeah, that would be
they'll go
cool.
across the country playing
Yeah,
pickup at parks, but then they will also be behind the scenes with the players,
yep.
getting ready for the game and doing other things. So I kind of hope it's like that. You
Yeah, I
see the
like that idea.
process of them, like the mindset really to come up with some of these dunks. Because like I said, some of these dunks are like really wild and crazy. Like how they came up with the concept, what clicked in their brain, like, oh, I'm going to see if I can do this and whatnot. So yeah, I think that would be kind of cool. So yeah, I would definitely find a way to tune in.
Yeah. Okay. Um. Well, speaking of things from the past, dang it, I want to say that, but I'm saying it anyway. To me, my X Men. Yes, X Men season two, X Men '97 season two has come out. I watched the first 4 episodes. There was 3 episodes last week, a new episode this week. So I'm gonna try to give you a little bit of the things I like and dislike from each episode, since it's a lot of content to kind of burn through. First off, I think Bo DeMayo, who wrote the first season of X Men '97 and just made it an amazing season, who got fired for some risky posts and maybe some riskier things he did in the workplace of a sexual harassment nature. Uh he,
This guy.
I think he actually still wrote this second season, but they just took his name off of it. I just looked it up. It says they're just gonna take his name off the second season, his credits. So I think he is involved with the second season from a writer's perspective. But after that, I think season three might be just all new writers. So now we're trying to see if this season is as good as the first season, because you know, was he the magic sauce for that first season? But I digress. First episode is, season one ended with spoilers if you haven't watched it. Season one ended with our X-Men being transported into time and space. They One set of the team went to the past, while another set of the team went to the future. So the first episode is with the team that went to the future, would consist of Cyclops, Jean Grey, Wolverine, Storm. I think that's it. Ooh, I think that's it, but I could be wrong. I think there's one more team. Ooh, is that? Yeah, yeah. Let me double check, because I hate to be wrong, but I think that's right. Yeah, I think that's right. Okay. Yeah. So in the future time that they are there, they find Mother Asanki. I might be mispronouncing her name. Which some people knew. I didn't know. I'm not gonna lie to you. I looked some stuff up. We find out that this is actually Rachel Summers, Scott and Jean Summers' daughter from a future time period, who actually has the Phoenix Force and is one of the most powerful beings with the Phoenix Force. It like joins with her perfectly, and she uses it well. She's the one that actually made the X-Men time travel to protect Nathan, which is her brother, to make him be able to beat Apocalypse. That was her whole goal. So in this future time, the X-Men have been taken in by her, and they're a part of her group, and they're protecting Nathan. And we have Forge and Bishop, who did not time travel, stayed in the '90s, and have been trying to figure out a way to get the X-Men back to the '90s. And they both end up going. Forge goes to the future, and Bishop goes to the past. So Forge comes to the future, and he's looking for the X-Men, and he finds them, And this is where we see this one cool. There's a lot of cool action scenes in this episode. The very first one is seeing Wolverine take down these Sentinel-looking robots, and I forgot that he had his adamantium pulled out of him in season one by Magneto. So you see he has bone claws, but he is super agile because he doesn't have that adamantium holding him down. He's moving all around doing his thing. It's crazy to see. You have Storm doing her thing. Rachel actually talks to Storm and gets her to realize she's actually more powerful than she thinks she is. And she teaches her how to enhance her power, but they're in a dystopian universe where Apocalypse is kind of the ruler of this world, and he's leading by the strongest only survives and the weak die. And they're fighting against him in this. Long story short of the episode, Nathan becomes more powerful. His mother, Jean Grey, who technically is not his mother, is helping him enhance his abilities that he has, but he also has the disease that's making his body turn to metal. I know I'm probably getting that wrong, but I forgot it's been a long time. But we see them actually get captured. Nathan Summers and Jean get and Cyclops get captured. The rest of X-Men fight to break them out. They break them out, but then Rachel Summers is like, Nathan has more to do. We need to go after Apocalypse. She does this kamikaze mission to break into Apocalypse lair. They don't fight Apocalypse, but they kind of take over his thing, and Apocalypse leaves in the time. But Nathan bonds with Apocalypse's ships and gets his actual metal arm, which is a cool kind of moment. And he's stepping up to be the leader he's supposed to be. Mind you, there's multiple Nathan slash Cables throughout time because it changes. That's the only thing I hate with time travel. Every time you deal with time travel, you mess up some stuff, you correct some stuff, and most of the time, it's always stuff that's supposed to happen. Even if you go back in time and trying to change it, that was supposed to happen anyway. So that's part of the time thing. And we encounter that in the next two episodes where we go, because eventually Forge gets everybody to come back to the 90s from the future. So now it's Bishop's turn to get everybody back from the past to come back to the future, back to the 90s. Um and we have Professor X, Magneto, Rogue, Nightcrawler, and Beast are the ones stuck in the past. And they actually come up against Apocalypse, but before Apocalypse become Apocalypse, he's actually Nabin Senor in ancient Egypt. And this is where this gets really crazy time travel-y. Because within this world, in this part of past time, we have Kang there too. Kang is trying to get the power of Celestials, which is the first cosmic being on Earth, and is part of the reason Apocalypse is who he is. We learned that the Celestials basically been doing this thing where they build these worlds up just to have them break down and rebuild them again with their powers. That's their whole death life cycle they do. And is one of the things which probably will intersect with Secret Wars in the actual live action Marvel, because that's what Doom is trying to stop Celestials do. I don't know if they're gonna do that in the actual MCU, but that's supposed to be how that works. So I know this is a lot. I try to get through. um, we end up having Magneto trying to be a prophet to Noir, Epson Noir. I'm not used to saying his name. Baby Apocalypse, I'm gonna call him. And for a while, Baby Apocalypse is working with him. And Professor X is like, why are you trying to help him? Why are you working with him? We need to destroy him. And Magneto's like, aren't you the one that said all mutants should work with humans and we should all coexist? If I can change him now, he might not be the monster in the future. Which is a very noble thing for Magneto to try to do. But Magneto, you not that guy. You not to change the guy to a good guy. I know when Professor X, you thought he was dead, and you was like, "I'm gonna be the X-Man. I'm gonna be the leader of X-Men. I'm gonna go his path that he wants." I know that you want that, but you not that guy. Even though he tries, he kind of lies to him about a couple things. But then we learn that ultimately all this is supposed to happen anyway, because in this super tomb that they're trying to get to that has some secrets and celestial powers, they figured find these what are those things that are written on tomb walls? Dang it. I got the word in my head, but I can't pronounce it. Or I can't get it out. Hieroglyphics. Yeah. So we see hieroglyphics of the X-Man with Apocalypse in the middle, and you see Professor X in his chair, and you see Magneto. So it's like, okay, this was supposed to happen. And in the midst of that, we have Kane trying to find the same thing, but in this time, his name is Menin Ra, or Rama 10, and he's like this pharaoh that Nubin Su have been fighting. Long story short, Nubin Su figures out that he's supposed to be Apocalypse and this is the power he's supposed to get. And he looks at Magneto, is like, "You lied to me. You're not a prophet. You're not who you say you are. You're actually here to stop me from being fulfilling my destiny." And he does get to the power and he becomes Apocalypse and he kills Magneto. So that's in episode 4, which was in season 1, spoiler for season 1, we lost Gambit. In episode 4, we lose Magneto. Magneto gets killed by Apocalypse, and Apocalypse is on his reign of terror now. And it seems like only reason Apocalypse became Apocalypse because X-Men interfered. But that's time travel. So far, these 4 episodes, pretty good. Pretty good. I will probably go deeper into episode 5 because I'll have a little more time and not 4 episodes to kind of digest. But at the end of this episode, we got to see Wolverine, I believe in present day, meet up with Captain America and Black Widow. And Wolverine asks Captain America, "Hey, do you have the information I asked you for?" And he hands him a folder with the words Weapon X on it. And it seems like Wolverine is on the in present day trying to get the animanium put back into his body because it got taken out. If you pay attention to some of the intros of these 4 episodes, you can see small bits of what's going to happen throughout the season. And there is a flash of Forge and Bishop standing in a room when there's a animanium skeleton in a jar or the tube, and I'm pretty sure that's how they're gonna get that. So that's really cool to see. But I don't. I think there's. I think it's 8 episodes this season, so there should be 4 more episodes left. So far, it's interesting, but I hate time travel, especially when it gets very confusing and diluted and different time spans. The same thing the MCU started to do with a little bit of time travel in different dimensions. It gets kind of weird. So hopefully they can still wrap it up pretty decently, but we'll see. But yeah, that is the first 4 episodes of X-Men 97 season 2. Let us know, are you watching? They do pick up some information from um the regular X-Men cartoon back in the day, like Apocalypse Ship and the Time Sphere and how that works. So I have to kind of possibly go back and watch some of that because I didn't finish the last season of the regular X-Men show. So homework there. There's a lot of lure in X-Men. There's a lot of lure, and we're getting Kane. We got Rachel Summers. Side note: Brand New Day might be Rachel Summers. That's another telepath that we didn't think of. Well, I didn't think about, but now she's on the board. So, spoilers for that if you are going to see Spider-Man, which everybody is, because I'm going to see it. But yeah, let us know in the comments. Have you watched this season so far? How do you like it? What's your favorite part? Um, and what do you think about it so far?
Hmm.
There's a lot of stuff happening in X-Men. And I'm not even a super X-Men fan. Trust me, I gotta go watch some other people that are bigger fans break down some stuff. Cause I didn't know about the Kane thing until this last episode, and people pointed it out in episode 3. So hey, it's a lot of stuff. They doing some stuff, but we'll see.
All right. Uh, Now we're going to move to something a little different. All right. So, a growing number of parents across the U.S. are intentionally holding their sons back in middle school, especially around eighth grade, to give them a physical advantage in sports before entering high school.
Wow.
The practice, often called redshirting or reclassing, is becoming increasingly common in highly competitive sports like football, basketball, and baseball. Parents believe that an extra year of physical growth can make their children taller, stronger, faster, and more emotionally mature compared to other students in the same grade. In some cases, families even transfer their children to private schools or specialized athletic academics where repeating a grade is easier to arrange. Coaches and recruiting experts interviewed in an article said older athletes often stand out more during scouting and may have a better chance at no, a better chance at earning scholarships or attracting college attention. But critics argue that intentionally holding students back for sports creates an unfair advantage and places excessive pressure on children at a young age. Some educators and some educators worry that parents are part, part,
Prioritizing.
prioritizing athletes over academics and emotional development, while other families feel forced to follow the trend just to keep their children competitive. Supporters, however, claim that extra year can boost confidence, leadership skills, and long-term opportunities, especially for boys who physically mature later than their peers. The debate has sparked large conversations about youth sports and culture in America, where competition, scholarships, and dreams of professional success are increasingly influencing educational decisions. So, as you being a parent of younger children, what is your take on that?
Um, I can see the benefit. Um, and by the time they get to 7th to 8th grade, you know how athletic your child is going to be. You know if your child has that, for one, drive or the athletic talent to go to that next level. Like, if you're doing this to a kid you that plays and only scores 2 to 3 points a game, no, don't do that to that child. That child is not gonna get a scholarship. Like, I can see the biggest reason for me to do this is to be able to get a scholarship for college, because college is ungodly expensive, and depending on what degree you get, it might not even be worth it. Um, Realistically, just the way the world is working right now, them high degrees, some of them dudes are still working at Starbucks. But to give your child that extra chance to get a degree, if you're doing this because you feel it's going to take your child to be a professional sport athlete, that's still like 1 to 2% chance he's going to make it that far. But if you're doing it to get him to get to college, to get a paid for education and a better chance to succeed in life, that's a whole different story. That's a
Let
whole
me
different story. If that's
let me
your
ask you.
path.
No, let me ask you a question. Would you do that or not? Just a yes or no.
Yeah,
I
yeah, I
would
would do
say
it. I would hold Judah back if it got him. if it would help him get a scholarship to college to where he can get a full ride and become the doctor he wants to be.
So this is how I know we're in different times because would, when we was growing up, you could never do anything about that. Just because the social aspect and the hell the child will deal with in school.
Oh, I didn't even
And
think about that.
because you got held back. Like like now it's
I didn't even
fine,
think
right?
about that.
But back when we was growing up, if you're going to get taught, especially in our community, you're going to
Yeah.
get talked about so bad that it's going to make you wish you never, even though you're probably doing it to for sports or whatever the reason may be. The
Can they? Well, now
scrutiny
the
would be
question
so bad
becomes:
you would wish you didn't.
can the school force you to make your child? Because your child would have to be failing to get hold back, and I don't even
Right.
know if they do that anymore. If you failing, because they
Or you
push
just go
kids
to a
through now.
or you go just go to a different school because now you have
Yeah.
schools, i.e., IMG Academy.
Yeah.
Um, what was that other one for basketball? Oh my
Oh,
god, I can see the
that the other
logo.
one wasn't a real school, but that
No, no,
football one.
not that, not Sitmore's or
Yeah.
whatever. That was all fake. But I can't think of the other school. But yeah, like IMG Academy. That
Yeah.
school is
Okay.
based around sports. It's sports first, academics second. So you
Hmm.
have a lot of schools like that around the country that's like that. So it's different times. For me, I don't know. I no, I don't think I would because I'm not. Because like you said, the the chances of you like making professional is slim to none for one. Okay. Two, uh, you holding them back because you think it's gonna be faster and stronger. That's you supposed to like in your current grade. I know something you can have a late growth spurt, this whatever, but you're supposed to work out and work on things in your game in the off season anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So, what are you doing in the off season? Are you not working on your game? Are you not lifting or doing whatever you need to be practicing to become better at your sport?
True.
That now you want to be held back a year so you can have a competitive advantage over some of the kids. It's not all because you're probably not the only one that's being held back. And
Yeah.
is 1 year going to make that big of a difference?
1 year could make a big difference. If
It
that's the year
doesn't.
you get that growth spurt, that could make a
But I'm
big
saying you
difference.
can't. You don't know
You
when you're
can't
going to have that
predict
growth
it.
spurt. You
Yeah.
can't predict the growth spurt. So you're going off of a wish and a dream. You don't know
Yeah.
because, like, for example, Anthony Davis, like when he was in high school, I think freshman or sophomore, he was like 6'1", 6'2", or 5'11", or something like that. And then he just had this massive growth spurt. Now he's like 6'11", 7 feet.
Yeah.
Like
You
you
can't
don't,
predict that.
you can't predict that. If it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. Whether you're in your regular grade or you held back a year, you can't. So I don't think I would. So yeah, I just don't think I would
Hmm.
because if you're
Hmm.
that good, that scholarship will still be there that year
True.
or the year after.
True.
Because as I always
True.
said, if you're good enough, they will find a way.
Yeah. Yeah. I just seen, but I seen a kid that was 6'5" at 15. So that's just he's just genetically gifted right now. If his knees holds up, but yeah. Mm.
Well, also I see like some videos where you have a kid that's like young, like 6'5", and still playing against kids his age. It's like,
Yeah.
well, like for basketball, if you're 6'5" and you're 13, You should not be playing against other 13-year-olds
Okay,
because
where we draw the line though? He
no,
that's his age group.
yeah, but he's not. What is he? He's not learning anything because he's taller than everybody. So he doesn't have to do anything. He just goes stand by the rim, do like this, catch the ball, and turn and shoot. There's no skill set in that.
I'm
You
saying
need to play. You need to play against some. If you're going to be that big and you're trying to make it in basketball, you need to play against kids with similar skill set because that's not doing nothing
true,
at all.
but
It's not
he
doing anything. You're not developing anything.
yeah,
You're
you
just
gotta
going by the hoop.
develop it.
You're just going to the rim and being tall. That's not a skill set. You're not learning anything. You're not getting better by doing that.
Yeah,
You
he's
just
not.
you just being a pain
I
to
mean,
the
but you
shorter
still got
kids
to
who's
see
average
where his
height.
level is. If his level
Right.
isn't worth playing with 6 feeters, then you
But
definitely then you're gonna crush his confidence.
what you don't know unless you put them against it.
True.
I because like I said, you're not learning anything. You're not developing anything. You're just going near the rim and being tall,
I
which you
guess it
can't teach.
also matters on his skill level. He that height is not a skill. Height is a genetic
Right.
gift.
Like if he's going up and down the court and he's clumsy and bumpy, then okay, it doesn't
Yeah.
matter. Then you know he can't play with other 6 footers. He's just tall and clumsy. So okay, that's not matter. But if he can move pretty good
Yeah.
and he wants to develop and he wants to play basketball, then you gotta put you can't keep him in that level. You gotta at
Yeah.
least put him try him at to see how good he is or how bad he is.
Yeah, my son played against a sixth grader that was like 6'2", 6'3", and they was terrified at first until he started playing, and he just didn't have it together, and it was like, oh, never mind, we good.
Yeah.
You just tall. You just
Right. You
tall.
can't you can't catch, you can't run,
You
you can't
don't
hold the ball.
you
Like it
don't
don't
got it.
matter.
You don't got
So
it. So, but then they
yeah,
played against another kid that was 6'2", and he could play. So
yeah,
you can see the vast difference. He knew how to use his body, how to rebound, how to shoot, how to move the ball around. So yeah. It's all about the development. Yeah, I changed my answer right there. Yeah, you're right. He shouldn't be playing with it. Like I've seen that boy. I think of you talking about that's like playing with 13-year-olds, and he like 6'5", and he just dunking on kids. And yeah, you shouldn't be there.
yeah.
You should be there, sir.
Right.
Because
That's like
you dunking like a grown man.
that's like if we go out and we go to the park and we're playing against some third graders
Yeah,
and we're out there doing that thing and we dominating talking trash. You know how silly that looks?
it
Like
does.
they're too in the literal sense they're too little, they're too small. Like what sense does that make?
Very
So
true. Very true. Okay.
I especially hate when they be that big and that tall and then they want trash talk. It's like
Yeah, what are you doing?
you're a foot taller than everybody else on the court. Like
Yeah, that's
you
too
shouldn't even be
much.
out here. Like
There's
yeah,
confidence, and then there's just arrogance. You need to be put down a peg just so you can fix that stuff. But um, speaking of dominance, it is time for House of the Dragon season 3, episode 3. Rhaenyra's triumphance. Yes, she is now the queen of King's Landing. She's taken over the throne. She's the new leader. Um, and she's starting to get her house together. But in the midst of that, she's got to figure out what's going on in her house. So she learns as a new queen that she's starting to strut around her castle. She learns that the castle's overrun with rats because Aegon killed all the rat catchers after the whole bone and cheese incident. He killed all the rat catchers, so no one's catching rats in the castle. And she finds out that they don't have as much gold in their treasury as they thought because somehow the high towers have depleted their treasury or relocated the gold in their treasury, so they don't have enough money to feed or pay people for the next like maybe a month, and after that they're kind of shit out of luck. And then on top of that, she learns that the what are the not the common folk, but the not the actual royalty, but the guys in the middle. So they're not king and queen royalty, but they're not poor. They're like business people with a nice little nest egg and stuff. Learned that they were hoarding food during the war, so food supplies there's even shorter. Um, so Rhaenyra is learning this on the go as the new queen. People are coming to her with these problems, just like in um Game of Thrones when Joffrey became the king and people came to him and talked to him about their problems in the court while she's sitting on the throne. They're telling her problems and she has to delegate this. This is something she's never had to do. This is a part of being the leader she never either experienced or paid attention to or was taught. She always thought of just getting the seat of the throne, but not actually with the aspects of that comes with. And now she's learning it. Her father never prepared her for this, but she also didn't see her father deal with this because her father always passed it off to other people, had other people make those big, hard decisions while he reaped the rewards of the positive things that happened and played in his own little world. She was told a quote from Allison, I think it was Allison before, that um to be king will make you a different person. And she was like, well, my dad never became a different person. And she told her, your dad never paid attention to being king. He was off in his own world while other people did the hard work. So now she's learning how to do this and she's somewhat stepping up. She has this crazy scene where she brings in all the nobles and has a dinner for them, and she feeds them the rats that have been plaguing her castle. She's feeding them to them, and the noble's like, "What is this? This is disgusting. Why are you feeding this?" And she goes into this speech about how, first of all, you guys weren't there to help me when I was being usurped, and you didn't stand with me. But we're gonna let that go and move that aside. You also chose to take food from the common folks' mouth and hoard it when others need food. So while you're here at this dinner of rats that I served you guys, my gold cloaks are in your house taking all that surplus food that you stored. They're taking it back to hand it out to the people that deserve it or the poor folk that need it. And they were sitting, the nobles sitting there was like, how would you do this? Why would you do this? This is not okay. Why are you silver? She was like, I'm your queen, and this is what I'm asking of you. And this is something you're going to continue doing until we get the kingdom back into good shape. And it was a major power move. It was a major power move. It is definitely going to make her look good for the common folk, but it's going to make her enemies of the nobles, which you don't need to be making enemies right now. And even one of the nobles said something to her. He came up to her as she was leaving. He was smiling at her. He was like, "Hey, good move. The common folk will see you as a hero right now." She was like, "I don't know why you smiling. I'm coming for your house too." He was like, "I understand, but I understand you're making enemies. We will see how that protests." And that is one enemy she's made. She made another enemy with Corlys because Corlys wanted her to vindicate his sons and give him his last name because they're bastards and he wanted to be able to pass on even the little bit he still has to them. And to do that, they have to be vindicated and have his name. And she wouldn't do it, even though this man has sat by your side, fought by your side, lost his wife, lost his son, lost his brother because of you, and okayed your bastard kids, even though they were supposed to be his grandchildren. They're not his grandchildren because you didn't have those kids with his son. You had it with, I forget the Hightower Squire you or Starker guy you were with, and he never said anything. But for this one favor he's asking you for, you can't do it. And somewhat of a good reason for her not doing it because it brings prying eyes on her kids if she legitimized these bastards, because everybody knows her kids are bastards, but they're not saying nothing because she got white hair, and the dude she was supposed to have the kids have white hair, but these kids all have black hair. They make your kids. That's not how recessive genes work. So she's like, no, I can't do it. And he got in her face. He was like, wait a minute. Why does your children get to carry your names and my children don't get to carry my names? Your children are bastards just like mine, and my children should have the same as yours. And she had no answer for it. So now you made another enemy right here. This dude that's still got a couple fleet of ships, also has two of his kids that are dragon riders that is on your side. You gonna lose two dragons and ships? Come on, Rhaenyra. You gotta do better with your diplomacy. But we also get at the end, she has taken all of the high tower things down and burned them. But she's also keeping Allison in the kingdom, and she's locked her up, but she's keeping her. And Allison's good. The high towers are good. They are good politically. They know how to work the system. They know how to work the people. You keeping her there, she's gonna figure her out. And speaking of them working the people, Damon went to Ormond Hightower at his camp to make him surrender to Rhaenyra and bend the knee. He brought two other dragon riders with him, so he showed up with three dragons in front of the other Hightower's army and was like, "Hey, Rhaenyra's the queen now. You need to bend the knee and go home." Damon wanted to burn them all, and I think he should have burned them all. But Rhaenyra told him, "Hey, we were trying to rule in peace. We're gonna try to bring them in, have them be peaceful, and not any more bloodshed." And Damon's trying to be follow her wishes. He's trying to be a good husband and a good partner and follow her wishes. He doesn't think it's a good idea, but he tells Ormond, I think that's his name. I've only heard it like two times. I haven't remembered it yet. He says this is like, hey, I need you to bend the knee. He bends the knee. He renounces. He says Rhaenyra's the queen, and we will go back home. But he said, before you go home, I need you to hand over Darian Targaryen, which is Allison's youngest son. Um, and they was like, "What you talking about?" He was like, "No, I can't have uh this possible heir to the throne running around free. So he's gonna come back with us and be a hostage." And they bring out a white-haired little boy, and you see his dragon in the background. And I didn't notice this on the first watch. His dragon didn't really move or make any kind of acknowledgement of that's what his dragon rider. And at the time, I thought that was Darian Targaryen. Turns out they pulled the old swippy swap. That boy got his hair bleached, and they told him, "Hey, you're gonna go with these people and act like you're this prince and this person. If you don't, we're gonna kill your mother." So Damien's never seen Darian, so he didn't know what he looked like. Darian actually left the castle when he was like super young and went back to Hightower, I think it's Old Town, and was raised in Old Town because Allison felt worried for him. So he was raised in Old Town, so people didn't know him. We actually seen Darian in episode 2, and he's a redheaded boy. I don't know if they dyed his hair, but he was a redheaded boy with a green cloak on in that episode, which I did not realize until after this episode ended, because we learned at the end of the episode when Rhaenyra tried to give Darian a moment to talk to his mother. Allison was like, "Who is this little nigga? I don't know him." And they was like, "Oh, that's not your child." He was like, "Nope." And they was like, "Child, who are you?" And it was like, "Hey, they told me to do it. They was gonna kill my mama." And then they find out that Rhaenyra was like, "Okay, they playing games." They find out the Omen's Hightower has sees I forgot what he sees some of her land where there's some dragons, some baby dragons in there, and they're playing a long game. They're like, hey, we gonna have this battle. This is gonna happen. You might have King's Landing. Let's see if you can hold on to that motherfucker. And it is about to get good in the next episode. We're gonna see because we still got Aemon out there, we still got Aegon out there, and now we got the Hightowers about to fight back against the Targaryens, and the Targaryens are making a lot of enemies within their side, within their own house. So we're gonna see what happens. Oh, I forgot this. Um, Elf, one of the dragon riders, the bastard dragon riders, he is a weak link because I think that dude would give up switch sides for a money in a castle and a title. So Rhaenyra, you can't be keep just throwing people by the wayside that don't help you. You got to stay a strong leader, but you also need to understand how you keep the people that with you close to you and in good standings. So we'll see what happens. Um, it's getting good, baby. It's getting good. It's getting good. We're seeing the blackmail, the backstabbing, the way you orchestrate through enemies and friends and create new friendships and new binds to all meet to one goal is to be to sit on the throne. And we will see what happens in the next episode of House of the Dragon. Let us know if you're watching. How did you like this episode? You so I talked about it last podcast how episode 1 and 2 felt like season finales for season 2 and not really a season premiere for season 3. This episode feels more like a season premiere and feels right in line of how you would start off a season with intrigue and mystery and seeing how many who's doing the best board chess pieces on the board and how they're using them. This feels like that, but it still is a good episode. So appreciate you checking out that episode. Let us know in the comments what did you think about it.
All right, so that's our episode for this week. Um, hit the like, hit the like button, hit the link in the description for all of our socials. Remember, we have the voicemail where you can leave us a message, ask us a question. Well, might play you on the podcast or answer it. It's not too crazy. Um, yeah. Oh, hit the hype button. Hype up the
Yeah.
video. Uh, Send the link to your friends, family, post it on your socials. And we'll see y'all next week.
Oh, I forgot. This episode 70. So I told y'all when we get to episode 70, I decide if I'm gonna start putting it on Spotify audio version at least. I think you could do video too, but if we gotta pay for it, I'm not doing it. But I think you do audio. I think I'm about to start this episode will be on audio version. So if you stay this long, you know it's on the audio version now. So look out for that.
All right.
7-0, baby. We made it to 70.
New news for you and I. So we'll see y'all next week. All right.
All right. Peace.